Let's try this again. We're back. It's Sunday, November 8th. Working on a few things with the before we tear the old zip cart down. Wheels, right? These old original Van K wheels. They may even be the original wheels that came with the cart. Wouldn't surprise me. And the cart's 40 years old, so we needed to find something that was going to clear this tailgate brake. And we first thought we had a piston anvil brake here, but we don't. We got a live piston on both sides. They really machined that outer half down to clear these wheels. So what these are actually two separate pieces. These are left over from the wheels I had to buy and cut to make our own wheels for the F-125. The outer half here, this shallow little piece, is what we needed for the inside of there to clear the big fat tailgate that we're running on the front of there. So we needed a very shallow back space and a certain front space to get the width we needed for that 4.6 wide Hoosier tire, right? So we had to buy 4 wheels, cut them apart, and all those videos are on here. If you went to making our own wheels on the playlist, you'll see everything there. So these are the pieces that were left over. These were usable, but I mean, they had the valve stem. They would have been on the back side of a second pair of wheels for the F-125. So I put them together just to see if it would work. It ends up being 4 1/8, I think, or 4 1/4, more than enough for us to put the 4.6 6-inch rim tire up for Hoosier on the front of here. We'll replace these the back wheels. We'll put heavy 5/16 studs in here, or we'll buy new hubs, either or. These are 100 years old. These hubs here are old original Van K hubs. Not very beefy, not very heavy duty, you know, especially compared to what we're doing these days, right? Look at how thick these are compared to how you see what I'm saying here. So the difference is quite extraordinary. So we'll get, I was just simulating here what's going on. We're going to end up, this is a 5-inch wide wheel. So we're going to go with a 5-inch wide wheel with the 5.5 wide 6-inch bead Hoosier on the back, R60Bs all the way around, 460 6-inch on the front. And we're going to narrow the cart up a bit. And we might, I mean, if we can get the thing narrow enough, we might even put bodywork on this thing and run a bodywork class. I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see how it goes. I think I'm going to like just playing with the vintage guys, you know, so maybe we'll just leave it that way. But we're going to skinny it up. We know that when we make the rear end narrow, it makes the ass end happy, and I like ass end happy. I like the car. I like driving the rear end of the car. I don't like it to push. So it felt good when I drove it, but I wasn't going 10/10 because I was uncomfortable with how far away the steering wheel was and the steering speed itself. So once I get comfortable with the slower steering and a steering wheel in a position I'm comfortable with, I'll be able to get after it quite a bit more. So that's what we're working on. We're working on getting another set of wheels. We're going to get that stuff that you've seen on Facebook, all types of commercials you got on your phone or whatever, social media and whatever, about that aluminum stuff that you heat it with the propane and you rub it and it just, yeah. And if it works, if it'll hold these together just enough so we can literally bolt it to a hub to air up the wheel, and just so we can let the air out of the tire, and the tire is beaded, but it won't pull the thing back apart. If it's just silicone together, and you take it off, just the 3 bolts that are holding the 2 pieces together, it'll come right apart, even with no air in the tire. We've had that problem here, and we've got the rubber O-ring in there. So if we can use that welding stick thing just to get it to seal up and hold it together enough with no air in the tire, just the pressure of the empty carcass of tire on there, then I think we'll be good to go. We could try it on the F-125 too. So what we'll do is we got to order 2 wheels and then send all this stuff out after we get this aluminum welded back together, right, with that propane torch stuff, and get them off to Jim Anthony, and he's going to put the Indy orange aluminum base and then the transparent orange on the wheels for us. And so we'll be done messing around with that. We can strip it all down. We know we're going to want to cut the nut bar loose. We're going to want to move it over probably a half an inch or so, a half an inch, 3/4 of an inch. We want to move that steering wheel more in the middle between here and the right and the middle of the pedals. We're going to want to move that over at least maybe an inch at the steering wheel. So I don't know. We'll have to cut her loose and get laid in here and see how it goes. But went to South Bend yesterday and picked up these two engines from a young man. His name is Becker Reardon. Him and his family actually ran or operated, owned either Michiana Raceway Park or the sprint track in Norway. I can't remember what he said, but they actually had a kart shop, I think, over in Norway. And maybe that's where they were functioning, operating the track. I can't remember, but I guess this is an engine builder guy, sprint engine builder from Wisconsin. This motor here is 50.62. It is literally branded. The head itself doesn't even look like it's been used. The piston looks like it might have been run on the stand and shut off. So this one here looks freshy fresh. This one here looks used a little rough. There was a lot of black carbon on top of the piston. It looks like somebody rubbed it all off. But, you know, we could just drop a top end in here and it'll be good and fresh. We're going to get this motor fixed up. This is the damage we did at Grattan. Here's the stuff that was all stuck to the top of the head, inside the head, and the top of the cylinder itself. It was stuck right on the edge of the cylinder. But this engine is very, very old. This might be one of them original, old school Yamahas. It's a boat anchor. This thing's old. But from what I understand, the older they are, maybe the better they could possibly be. I don't rightly know, but we don't care. The bottom end is good and clean. There was no issue there. Tom, the guy that sold me the Kart, said this motor got rebuilt before he went to Daytona. He ran it at Daytona, so say he ran, you know, maybe 2 races down there. I don't know. Maybe say he ran 4 races. It still should have some time on it, I guess. I don't know. But we're not gonna do the rod and the crank. I'm gonna probably pull it apart, make sure the bearings aren't. If there's no grunkus in the bearings, then we know. I think it's safe to say that the rod bearing is going to be okay. We'll flush everything out, clean it. We'll put new bearings and seals in the bottom end. And we'll get new gaskets. We measured everything as we took it all apart, inspect it all out, and we'll just put a new top end in it. You know, I'll clean off the aluminum in the cylinder. We have a sun-in hone, midget hone, good to go. We have all the tools we need, bore gauge and all that stuff. So we'll spec it all out and we'll get the right size piston and get it fit up. And our buddy Bruce Meyer, he gave us some specs for where to set squish, wall clearance, stuff like that. We're gonna be far more. We're not gonna be full on race setting. It ain't gonna be tight pushing every little last thing. It's the vintage Kart, man. We just want to get rides. This thing is only gonna run when there aren't enough guys show up at the track for me to bother to pull the F-125 out of the trailer. It'll give me something to do at the track when it isn't worth my time to run the shifter cart. So we ain't going to get too crazy with pushing this thing, 10 tenths with spec. So that's it. That's where we're at. Crazy. These things are it looks like 2 different engines altogether. This one's got a Yamaha emission control badge from the factory. Looks like connected right to. I don't know if anybody has seen these before. Let me know. I'm not a Yamaha guy, but that is kind of weird. I thought, wow, what was this for, like an ultralight or something? The ignition isn't being fed through that hole in the case, actually through a groove in the cover. What does that mean? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. The TCI is around the front of the motor too, instead of on the side or in the back like this one is. But as you can see there, so I don't know. I don't know what any of this means. Maybe it means nothing. But we didn't pay much for them. As far as me, I think these Yamahas are junk altogether anyway. So it is what it is, right? We got very little invested in all this stuff. I think we can piece this stuff back together and have some fun with it. And maybe if somebody looks at it and thinks it's good looking and likes it and wants to buy it, we'll make them a good deal on the cart, motors, everything out the door. Who knows? You never know. But maybe we hang on to it forever. I don't know. But just wanted to get you up to date. Went and saw the doc. Everything's good. Passed the test. He says another 4 weeks of no more than 20 pounds. He doesn't want me taking any chance of getting a abdominal hernia and causing any trouble, because that'll put me down for 6 weeks, and we can't have that. So no heavy lifting, but I can work in a garage. He said, just take it easy, man. You know, I just got done. We did the leaves and cut the grass and all that stuff today. Got all that stuff picked up. We had to be, you know, the big trees, they're all just about gone. So it's kind of killing me watching all that stuff blowing around out there, but it is what it is. We can start moving toward getting normal now and getting back to where we were headed. I got to get with Rich and Joe, the brother-in-law next door, and get a couple guys over here. We need to get this rack out of here and these carts back. I don't know why I wanted this stuff over here, but it needs to all go out in a trailer. No reason for the trailer to sit over at Richard's empty. Maybe we go ahead and get that side door fixed up with the RV handle on it, you know, and get that all squared away. And then we'll put that stuff in there. That way the trailer's lockable. I mean, you know, nobody would be able to get anything out of it anyway, but I'd sleep better knowing that. So that's it. That's the RPM update for the 8th of November. We're going to go in and watch a little evening church. Good sermon this morning. The preacher's on it. Obviously, you don't need to be from the United States to know what's going on here with our elections and the crooked corruptness. I mean, come on, it's the U.S. government. They've been corrupt ever since they got started. There's been evil people infiltrated into our government. So shouldn't be surprised now that there's just so darn many of them that it's hard to believe they can weed them out, that they can actually put an end to it. But who knows? Not really planning on going to Daytona now. I think we're just going to stay home, stay close to the ones we love, spend our money and time working on this stuff here, thanking God for everything he's blessed us with. We got Thanksgiving coming in a week or two. Get together with family and friends and thank God for all the blessings we have, especially simply the fact that we've been born here and live here in the United States. At this point, pre-Joe Biden, we're still a completely free and nation of laws and a democracy of a constitutional republic, and that may change here in the future. You don't know, but we're just going to plug away and keep telling people about Jesus and playing with the things that give us joy. But hang in there, folks. It can always be worse, and it might get worse yet. But keep looking up. Jesus is your Savior. Accept him, and he'll protect you.